Alrighty guys, thanks so much for joining in. This is another Birthright video here, wrapping up the plain states, the non-political domain. So taking a look at the sources here and some of the more notable ones and what's out there for you. So there's 9 active wizards, and so you have a very, as it says, diverse wealth of magical activity in this region here. So the one that's really available for players is Adara Bint Reshoud. It's considered lawful neutral. And if you're taking the character as is, right? So again, lawful neutral, solid bloodline, level 8 wizard's already pretty potent, but is a powerful and subtle mage from the city-state of Shufal in Aftane. Now we did mention, as wild and crazy as that realm is, but you have a decent amount of sources, right? There's a level 0, but you have your lowest is a 2. You have 2 3s and a 4, and then a massive 7 out in the Tarvan Waste. Now you do have one in the Sphinx's domain, which is pretty precarious to have that there, but that level 7 is awesome. So fair bit of regency accumulated. You can do quite a bit. Again, being a source domain, not so much in the way of upkeep there, but you will need your regency for accomplishing what you can and what you want to do with those tasks that you especially need to have. In a lot of cases, maybe raising up your source levels and things like that. Treasury is paltry, right? Because there isn't necessarily income, but that's where you could be selling your magical services and any use of realm spells. So, as it says here, mainly right now using your personal wealth to fund many domain actions. So, but easier when you can find other sources of income as a wizard, right? Born 50 years ago, she grew up in a privileged Ajazada family. This intelligent and persistent girl became fascinated by magic and eagerly learned all she could. She adventured throughout Cerelia before returning to Shufal. She learned elven lore in the Seligoroid in Anweir. On returning to Shufal, she used her knowledge of standing stones and the land's power to create a network of ley lines centered on her tower. Adapting the elven sorcery to the barren Tarvan Waste took years of effort, but she's discovered the arid terrain's unique power. So, really neat story there, and something that could be really fleshed out too with some of her adventures from earlier years, but also that presents some interesting connections to other areas of the continent, like Anweir, right? And you could certainly use that maybe as an occasional adventure, going back there to maybe not necessarily adventure or just for the sake of adventuring, but more so maybe just to reinforce some connections with other wizards maybe that she had back in the day when she was learning, or other maybe unfinished quests from the past, or even just encounters from the past coming back. So this could be like a fun use of like flashbacks and things from earlier history to then build to the present. So depending on how the player and the DM want to work that in a campaign. There are some other wizards though, as we mentioned, and there's a fair bit of levels going on there too. You got Baruya out in the Tarvan Waste, Bedureg in Aftane, and the Tarvan Waste. So lots of holdings here, right, as far as levels go. The Emir of Sendur with 11. You got Jaim El Zijef in Zakala with 12. The Grand Vizier, remember that guy, at 13. The Court Mage of Aria, which is Rahil the Falcon, really cool name. 5 in Aftane and 16 in Aria. So pretty potent there. But again, we see that there's other people out in Aftane as well, so there's a lot of still untapped potential there. But again, not all these guys are necessarily good. The Red Witch, we've seen that huge amount in Bensada, 24. But then taking the cake here with the most certainly is the Sphinx with 28 in, well, obviously the Sphinx's domain, but that's where that could be some interesting adventure material there too, as to just how she acquired a source holding in the Sphinx's domain, and is the Sphinx going to do anything about that, which may not just threaten her, but also the actual area where she resides and stuff. So fun things to consider there. But yeah, magic is definitely huge here in Kanasi so far. So a lot of potential, guys. Let us know if you've done anything with that as far as ever running like a source-based campaign or like a wizard-based campaign, dealing with sources if at the domain level, or just adventuring as a blooded mage. So hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.